Let's discuss this further with Akshaya Kumar, who is the Crisis Advocacy Director at Human Rights Watch and joins us from Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. Akshaya, thank you so much for your time. So if this is banned under a UN treaty, is Israel not a member of the treaty?
It doesn't matter if you're a member of the treaty or not, because airburst white phosphorus is unlawfully indiscriminate. So any party to a conflict, if you claim to be abiding by the laws of war, as the Israeli military says that it does, should not be using these over densely populated residential areas like the ones which we have documented that it did in the case of Yaghmur.
Is there any defense at all for using white phosphorus in these areas? What would be its purpose?
Well, as mentioned in the segment, white phosphorus does have a use on the battlefield away from civilian areas. It can be used in the context of marking, but there needs to be due care taken when this type of ammunition, which explodes, which can cause lifelong damage, it can cause burns, it can lead to death. Bandages, once removed, can burn down to the bone again. And so there's a deep reason to not use it where civilians might come into contact with it, where people live, where their cars, where their homes. But that's what we've seen in this case in Lebanon.
Do you think there's ever any accountability, or has there been in the past, for its use in warfare?
Well, what we at Human Rights Watch are asking is for the Lebanese authorities to take steps to engage the International Criminal Court's jurisdiction so that accountability can be possible for these and other crimes, war crimes or violations war that are committed in the context of this conflict. By taking that step, the Lebanese authorities would invite the Hague court to have jurisdiction over the situation, ideally, since the time following October 2023 up until the present and going forward. And that would give a pathway for justice and accountability for victims.
And would that be directed, any kind of accountability, any kind of trial, any kind of judgment, towards the military or the political leadership of a country?
Well, the International Criminal Court looks at individuals who can be held criminally responsible. Sometimes that can be military commanders. In the case of Sudan, they have indicted also members of they've issued arrest warrants for members of the political leadership. So this is a court that can look at the political side, the military side, the individuals who bear the greatest responsibility.
Is it any sort of excuse to issue evacuation orders before bombing civilian areas, as the Israelis have been doing?
Well, in international law, the laws of war do require that an effective warning be given to civilians. But these types of mass evacuation orders, where we've seen over 700,000 people be forced to flee the entirety of the Beirut suburbs, the entirety of the population of Lebanon south of the Litani River, in our assessment, this does not constitute an effective warning and is more likely a measure to terrorize a population. Effective warnings are part of the practice of armed conflict and the laws of war, but they do have to be of the nature that someone would actually benefit from them and create an effective protection. Here, what we're seeing is the opposite. These mass evacuation orders actually risk the crime of forced displacement.
The difference with Israel's attacks on Lebanon compared to its attacks on Iran may well be that in Lebanon, it's not at war with the state. In Iran, has Human Rights Watch looked into the legality of Israel's actions in beginning this war alongside the Americans? That is a war that one state is waging against another state.
In our work, we focus on the conduct of the war itself. So we are doing ongoing research and analysis about strikes, including a strike that our researchers looked at on a school in southern Iran, where we found that precision-guided munitions hit 8 buildings in a compound, including a clinic and a school. And we have called upon Israeli authorities to investigate those and we've called on the U.S. authorities to investigate that as well, because those are the two parties that are launching weapons in that area of Iran at this moment.
Akshaya, in terms of what's been happening over the past 2.5 years, and an arrest warrant being issued by the International Criminal Court for Benjamin Netanyahu and his former defense minister, Yoav Gallant. They're accused of starving the population of Gaza, of deliberately targeting civilians. And then there's the wider war that Israel has been waging against multiple countries in the region. Does Human Rights Watch have a relationship with Israel, or are you banned as an organization by the Israeli government? Are you ever able to present your findings to the Israeli government to receive some answers?
Well, it is our practice to regularly send all of our findings to Israeli authorities, and we are of the practice of sending our findings to all the members of warring parties in whatever conflict we work on around the world. Our organization has not had access to Gaza. For example, many organizations have not been able to access Gaza, including news organizations. We continue to seek that access, and we continue to engage with authorities on our findings, including violations of the laws of war and armed conflict.
So you're not banned by the Israeli government?
Human Rights Watch is not, as an organization, banned.
Okay, it's worth asking the question because, of course, of Israel's sensitivities towards United Nations agencies, organizations like yours that represent civilians all across the world. Akshaya, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.